Hey guys, it's Punkfully here, back with a special video today. It has been over a year since this video about Beatstar's history summary came out, and let's just say a lot, and I mean a lot, has happened to Beatstar. So much so that it pretty much no longer exists. Yeah, the lore kind of goes deep with this one. So, let us venture down into the rest of this rabbit hole, shall we? Make sure to subscribe for more content in the future. It really means a lot to me as I've been really eager to bring this video to fruition. By the way, if you want to catch up to this timeline, make sure to watch this video before I move on, as this will help out a lot in terms of understanding what's going on about Beatstar. Alright, let's get into it. So, 1 year ago, we left off at Season 41, when Space Ape Games was alive and well, when all players had the good old not-so-boring events of Music Master from Leaderboards and Beat Blitz from Beat Chaser. The latest track list for the Tour Pass at the time was mid at best, and the player base was, of course, mixed, but not to a calamitous extent. Jeez, looking back now, I can't help but realize how much more peaceful it was. After this one, we've got a great rock season which has Limp Bizkit in it, followed by an underwhelming season that goes towards pop and R&B. It's actually themed around Craig David's latest song at the time, so it's pretty nice to see an artist-focused tour pass since the Killers one. I don't think they would do this again for a long time. Hold up, is that Coldplay? Right after Season 43, Season 44 came with its theme going towards the band's latest album, Moon Music. Again, really cool to see them doing stuff like this, and you know what's even better? The developers may or may not have looked at my song suggestion series and added a sky full of stars as well. Like, god damn, me yapping to developers works for once? No way, this is amazing. I'm sure they won't do this again in a while. Is that Afterlife Cycle social in the end and bring me to life? Let's talk about Season 45 for a little bit here. This is undoubtedly the best season to date, in my opinion. Space Ape was like, you know what, my little corrupted Beatstar fan base, we're all ears. Let's give what you guys deserve for so long. And they quite frankly added what makes Season 7 and 28 fantastic, and crossbreed them into this one masterpiece of a tour pass that not only shines song-wise, but also chart-wise. As Season 45 marks the birth of some of the hardest charts the game has ever seen, although somebody had to say something important to make it happen. But yeah, thank you Space Ape Games for Season 45. Shockwave. As it was and is shocking indeed. Everything else after this point is pretty chill and cozy. Season 46 was solid, but definitely not as good as the last. Season 47 and 48, however, had only 7 songs instead of 9. But Space Ape made up for it by giving more deluxe cards as well as the season's deluxe charts once you purchase the tour pass. It's great value, so it's all good. But something is telling me that this is the calm before the storm. You know, it's probably just me going out on a limb here. It feels like the developers are ready to add new game-changing features to make Beatstar better for real this time. They even show pretty neat concepts of what some of their pitched ideas would look like in the game through a survey in December for players to look at. Heck, at some point, it was later revealed that Space Ape Games did work on a spin-off that's related to Beatstar instead of doing nothing new, but it got scrapped in the end. Apparently, their cancelled project is entirely themed around Season 34, with a pretty epic name called Epics. The art concepts look really nice and clean here, with previews of movie soundtracks that I'm sure I would find interesting to see for myself if Epics actually got released. The future is looking bright for this mobile game and Space Ape, and nothing could possibly go tremendously wrong. Such new horizons shall soon emerge upon our eyes as Beatstar continues its legacy with... what? Next Speed? What the heck is a next speed? To get to the point where Beatstar and Countrystar belong to this random entity called Nextbeat, we have to go back in time when this game was just a demo. Remember that one picture that shows a Space Ape Games rocket with supercell propellers on the sides? It turns out that this image existed because it marks the time Supercell becoming Space Ape Games' major investor in 2017 with a whopping 62% at stake, or $55.8 million. This is a remarkably ambitious number considering that it's a mobile gaming gaming company. Fast forward to July 2022, having seen the successful uprising Beatstar was having, the Finnish giant decided to increase its ownership rights by funding an extra 37 million, making Supercell control 3/4 of Space 8 games. With so much ownership and company power, it is clear that an assimilation process will happen to this London studio eventually.
2 years later.
On November 4th, 2024, when the song suggestions bot in Discord wasn't broken, when everyone was still grinding Season 45, Supercell fully acquired Space Ape Games, turning its office into Supercell London by spring 2025. This full buyout not only dissolves Space Ape Games as a whole, rest in peace Galactic Monkey, but it also impacts a lot of employees' jobs. Some people who formerly contributed to making Beatstar ended up staying in Supercell to work on their games instead. Meanwhile, a good number of workers got laid off or had to start over in different places. Most notably, around 16 to 20 Space Ape Games employees in particular, who just happened to be the development core of Beatstar, decided to relocate to a spin-out company by the name of Next Beat, a music industry team that's backed by experience in operating Beatstar and Countrystar. The company is led by a Space Ape Games co-founder too, so Nextbeat is already looking pretty strong as a startup. Oh yeah, Supercell also hopped in to say hello, or I guess hi in Finnish. So, what's in store from Nextbeat? There are a lot of proposals coming up, including improving Beatstar, which was slightly consistent because of the feature survey they put out, as well as the new spin-off game similar to Countrystar and maybe Epic's that would focus on, and I quote, nostalgia rock, metal, punk. Basically, Guitar Hero. Alright, let's give a few moments for my opinion about Countrystar, okay? I don't play much of it, to be honest with you, but I know for a fact that while the game's experience is a lot better than Beatstar, it still feels unnecessary to make more games that use the same essential lines of code and pipelines when you could just, you know, license country songs and put them into Beatstar regardless. Sure, looking back now, Country received a crap ton of hate at first when its update came out, leading to Countrystar's purpose. Maybe that's because they made a very poor impression in introducing this US concentrated genre to everyone, especially with Season 12. What's even more ridiculous for me is that because of this decision to make Countrystar as a standout game, the developers decided to put in exclusive big money songs just to attract more players. If you think about it carefully, if Countrystar never existed and the developers persisted in the initial dislike of the genre, Beatstar would have been a lot better in the long run, especially with keeping the tour pass quality and player retention. Alright, let's go back to the rock spin-off discussion. I mean, as a person who enjoys rock and metal, awesome sauce. A mobile Guitar Hero spoof that's actually fleshed out would not sound so bad, but having seen the way Countrystar was handled, I would feel iffy about the project, probably because they might pull out the same tricks again. But who knows, maybe Nextbeat developers learned a lot from their Space Ape era, which means they would be wiser in their choices. After all, this company was only made because of Beatstar and Countrystar being its foundation, so they could be onto something, knowing that they would take extra care for both games. But as it turns out, they weren't onto something. They were on something. They consumed an excessive amount of that one Season 29 MLG emo, whatever this is, because what the f is this? Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. A day which will live in Beatstar's infamy. Starting in Season 49, Nextbeat decided to put in the remastered charts of old songs. They are simply put different standard chart variations for songs with alternating difficulties. I think I've heard of something that's almost exactly like this before, but yeah, I guess I forgot. This is completely new and original, guys. Bravo, Nextbeat. Jolly good job. Let me remind you that this is the same team that manages to make a mobile game that generates more than $100 million, that is capable of pulling the likes of big name artists and even attract some of them to play the game, as well as making special collaborations with them. This baller move of recycling the standard songs with repackaged beat maps and asking players to pay for the tour pass is just them saying, "Hello, I like money. And I like it junky." I imagine their meeting before this was like, "What's up, new team? I'm feeling lazy, so I might as well be doing nothing, yeah? Any ideas on how to get us started? I have an idea. Let's mess up Beatstar and Countrystar. We will make players hate us because it's fun." That was a joke, by the way. Oh my god, you're a genius! Why make a game that's not coming undone when you could just watch it burn like a bonfire? You know what, son? I like that. Let's do it. Hell yeah! Wait a minute. Isn't that a little bit cruel?
But what the hell, boy?
Look, I know they have made mistakes by updates or very bad seasons, but I find a lot of them very forgivable because at least it's something new and fresh to keep everyone in touch with the game. The remastered charts incident though is completely different. I mean, more beat maps are cool. Less cool if it's from the same song in same mode, but putting them in a tour pass? Ah, hell no, that's crossing the line for me. Why the f would you want to pay $10 to play a normal version of In the End and Misery Business when there are hard ones by default? Or a normal chart of The Trooper and Godzilla when they have their well-loved extreme charts already? Meanwhile, the ones with upgraded difficulties don't look good either, as some of them pretty much copy the song's deluxe chart patterns, with only a very handful of them turning out great. Like bro, they even decided to make a John Lennon season filled with remasters too. So yeah, calling Beatstar's start to 2025 messy is an understatement. I gotta feel bad for Country Star too, as they pretty much did the same thing to a game that was about to hit the ICU. It's like they really want to pull the plug. Now, knowing how disastrous it was, Nextbeat tried to compensate the players by doing everything they can. They gave out journey updates, put changes to daily shuffle and leaderboard events, added classical as a new genre, and eventually they got new songs, although sporadically. But things were the same as before. People were fed up with how the game undeservedly fumbled way too many times. The worst thing was, ever since season 49, Nextbeat ultimately ruined one of, if not Beatstar's most reputable motto: discover new music. Players don't just come to look out for familiar songs. They also want to have a one-of-a-kind experience where they can find new music to enjoy through the game. That's what precisely got me into Beatstar in the first place and got my ass way too obsessed with it. And they pretty much did a Doofenshmirtz and self-destructed that motto. Okay, don't get me wrong here. While the song library that's built up throughout the years is big enough to keep newcomers busy for a good year or two, there's something else that's bigger than that by infinite margins, and that is the director's laziness, with the final straw being season 59. It's just a lot more worse. We've taken this game way too granted, I guess. I'm aware that at the end of the day, the developers are human after all. They all need vacations and take breaks just like anyone else. But in this case, what they did to season 59 genuinely put a lot of people's patience to the test. Everyone was fuming about the fact that the season only contains one song, and let me emphasize this even further. It's not a new song, nor that it has a remastered chart. It's a reused tour pass song. Oh, did I mention that they also reused the same name and cosmetics? Now, while the premium price is half and the deluxe card rewards increased to make it look like a bargain, the big picture everyone gets from this season is, in 3 words, Beatstar is dead. They have no money to license new songs, almost no transparency or words from the team as to why the game has ended up like this, and no signs of new big updates coming in. This game is about to finish its final stage of the product life cycle, and its declining rate is the same as the right side of a concave down parabola. The worst part is, amidst all of this chaos that could have been prevented with some more effort, instead of doing anything to get away from the hate, Nextbeat's chief executive officer posted Instagram stories of him going to an Olivia Rodrigo concert. To be fair, good for you. I'd love to attend one of those someday. But my point is, if your game is at its all-time worst right now, and all you do is this, that says a lot about your accountability and your motives towards the game that generates maybe more than enough money to keep your company alive. I know it wasn't intentional, but the ignorance is clear as day. Okay, maybe this is just a one-time thing. Season 60 would be better than that for sure, right?
1 season later.
Nextbeat, please, if you guys really care about your players, make the season 60 your comeback. Alright. Moment of truth. Please. What? Man, what the fuck? So, does that mean Beatstar is going 6 feet under? From the looks of it, the answer in hindsight is yes. Beatstar is dead. I firmly believe Nextbeat knows what they're doing this whole time. Once you do some research and connect the dots from all the articles about this company, it becomes more apparent that their music-first identity is for real. From the way I see it, and I hope that I'm wrong here, the leaders from Nextbeat strategically turned Beatstar and Countrystar from games to grow and nurture to tools to optimize revenue for the sake of growing their practices within the music industry, which includes expanding to educational technology and mental health, not just games. This satiates their bigger objective, achieving non-streaming monetizations in music. While I find what they're trying to do outside of Beatstar pretty compelling, prioritizing this over the games you've been working so hard to make them come to life is really risky and can be jeopardizing. Not only would you have to deal with losing the profit and reputation, all your future projects will be doomed to fail or incomplete. I'd love to see a rock version of Beatstar, but after seeing what they did to this game this year alone, it won't be as exciting. This might be a stretch. But let me ask you this. Having witnessed all of the cash-grabbing tactics they came up with in Beatstar and Countrystar, do you think it won't eventually happen to a mobile Guitar Hero clone as well? How would you feel on the release day of a high-potential game when you realize that you will have to deal with input bugs, watch ads unwillingly, spend gems on Beat Chaser events to claim grand rewards, grind your asses off for deluxe charts just to get unlimited play, and go through all the unneeded alternate charts at some point? That's not mentioning that they would milk your pockets even more by increasing more genre spin-offs like Countrystar as time goes on, with the same schematics and subscriptions. How would you feel? Despite the undeniable hate this game has been getting from Nextbeat's incompetence, I gotta give credit where it's due. Because if you only judge the game as is without the considerations of gluttony, Beatstar is still a solid game to enjoy. I feel like while it's justified to dislike it because of its bad caretaker, it's also fair to feel a little bit grateful that a game like Beatstar still hasn't been permanently shut down yet. How could this happen to me? I think it's important to keep in mind that the mobile game requires a humongous and possibly unprecedented amount of budget to maintain hundreds of songs across different genres, both mainstream and underground. Except for these, I don't claim those are legit. Let's also not undermine the hard work of Beatstar's core team, including game developers, art designers, beat mappers, music partnership representatives, community managers, live operators, and everyone else at Nextbeat and Space8 Games throughout the product's lifespan. Let's cut most of them some slack, because I think the blame should lie with the directors and up, as they are in charge of leading the game to be like this in the moment. Indeed, Beatstar sucks and deserves its downfall, but not because the game itself is bad. I know I've been complaining a lot in this video, and I very much acted dramatically over a mobile app that's like a 15-minute pastime for an average person. That is because there is one important takeaway from this entire clip that I want Nextbeat to understand thoroughly. This is my sentiment towards Beatstar right now, and I am sure it's safe to say that it's the same sentiment from most of this community. To conclude this video, here's more of what I would like to reflect on about Beatstar. In all honesty, the game has stood up well over time when it comes to mobile app standards. The animations, gameplay, and core incentives are already great, but so much more is not finished. What about things that don't directly impact the game at all, such as more customizations in gameplay, like changing colors of Perfect Plus highlights or track skins? Maybe bring back the daily quest feature from the game's Facebook version to give players a way to come back more often. Go look over the feature surveys you guys have sent before. There are a lot of ideas that I feel like are a no-brainer to implement without hesitation. All I'm saying is, perhaps it's a lot better in the long run to finish handcrafting a product first, just before making more of them. Because cutting corners or doing lazy exploits can only get you so far in success. Hopefully this random guy's yap will be heard well by Nextbeat developers if they actually lock in and fix their prolonged issues in both Beatstar and Countrystar right now. It's never too late to, at the very least, make quitters and haters respect them again. And trust me, that goes a long way. Just so you know, I had the script written back in early July for the first 5 parts of the video. However, a certain green avian appeared from thin air and said something along the lines of Beatstar. Hoy no hiciste tu clases de español. Me has fallado. Ahora muere. I kid you not. Exactly 1 year after I uploaded the Beatstar history video, Nextbeat suddenly announced a partnership with Duolingo. Not for real though, that sounds great. A big education company with an excellent social media team in recent AI backlash had piqued interest in a startup that was on the cusp of bankruptcy within a year. So, is Beatstar saved by Duolingo? Is Duolingo the way to how Beatstar get out of this utter mess? Is Nextbeat perhaps going through the redemption arc of the century?
No.
What actually happened was that Duolingo professionally bribed Nextbeat, and both companies had a mass workforce transfer, all coming from Nextbeat. Wait, did I just say all coming from Nextbeat? Okay, time out. Wouldn't that mean Beatstar will be severely undermanaged? Wouldn't that mean the game would straight up lose its core developers and leaders and thus put it into a stalemate? What the hell was the thought process behind this? Well, I guess that explains why shit like Season 59 got out of the basement. Later on, the CEO, well, former CEO, shared some insights about this decision, and he roughly said Duolingo and Nextbeat have the same goals. Green Owl music app has more swag than Beatstar. New game too hard to make, cause skill issue. As a result, Nextbeat shrank its team significantly, quickly leaving only 4 to stay in charge of Beatstar and Countrystar. In just 12 days after the Duolingo takeover stunt, on August 18th, 2025, Days, the well-beloved community manager and avid Twitch streamer, confirmed that Beatstar and Countrystar will forever shut down on October 31st. No more updates, no more new songs, no more spin-offs, and no more Touch Your Music. Holy shit, that Reddit user was right. Right now, if you're trying to download and give it a try before it's gone, I'm sorry, it's too late, since they have taken down both games from the App Store and Play Store a few days after this announcement. And so, with one final act of kindness, Beatstar and Countrystar have been giving 10,000 gems daily and massively buffed event rewards to allow everyone who has the games the most fulfilling experience they can offer. Right now for me, I'm only missing a few unnecessary remastered normals despite opening old song boxes in the shop. So I hope that they can at least fix this issue before shutting down. But it doesn't really matter. What matters now is that while we let ourselves agree, it f***ing stings to see a game nailed its death speedrun, let us also give it the love it deserves. I'll start with mine. Before I met Beatstar, these were the only 2 bands that I listened to throughout high school, thus the name Punk Floyd. But when I came across this game for the first time, back in 2022, my very first reaction was like,
yeah, there's no way it's gonna be better than Piano Touch 2.
I've never been more thankful that my dumbass was wrong ever since. When it comes to playing the game for the first time, I was blown away by how fun the charts are. I never really had the thought of how mainstream songs can actually translate well into rhythm games before, and Beatstar honestly did a superb job at that. I really wish that one day they would finish making deluxe versions for all of the songs available, but oh well. Reality is often disappointing. Outside of gameplay, Beatstar truly inspired me to step out of my musical comfort zone, to expose myself to other artists and genres that I would have not listened to otherwise. The Chemical Brothers, Blue Oyster Cult, Kansas, ZZ Top, Sullivan King, Interpol, Queens of the Stone Age, Chaosbay, Muse, One OK Rock, Baby Metal, Rammstein, and many more were discovered through this game and Countrystar. I even ended up making a series solely to not only beg Space 8 Games and Nextbeat to add my song picks into Beatstar, but to also allow myself to get to know a wide range of music directly from the community, from you guys, the very viewers. It gets better, considering that I'm a Vietnamese player who listened to coworker music growing up. I was forced to. And with Beatstar's help, I learned that there was a whole world of unfamiliar genres, especially within rock and metal, across oceans and continents that was beyond fascinating. That's one of the best things that Beatstar has ever done to me. And for that, I am genuinely grateful that I have stumbled upon this game and made so many great memories from it. I will never forget how much I enjoyed Beatstar since the beginning, and how much it impacted my taste in music. Big salutations to Space Ape Games, and not so much to Next Beat, for creating a mobile game that players had never gotten tired of in the past 4 years. There will never be a phenomenon like this for a long time, I'm sure of that. Once again, thanks for everything. And may you guys rest in peace, Beatstar and Country Star. Well, that was tragic, unsurprisingly though. So, I guess I'm gonna cheer myself up by playing Beat Clone now. See you next time.